welcome to Metal Wani Vitek here with Belgian death metal giants aboard its own frontman Sven. How you doing, man?
Not too bad, not too bad, considering everything that happened today.
Yeah,
We're doing okay, working hard on getting the album out.
that's right. And are you the only one in Canada right now, or the entire band is there?
No, but I'm the only one from Belgium, so the others are in Holland and in the United States.
Okay, I'm glad all of you are safe. What happened today is really insane. So many deaths. I know it's insane, man. It's difficult to figure out what's happening. First Paris, now this. Insane.
Yeah, yes, it's crazy and it's very sad that we're on 2014 and these kind of things are still happening, and it's a very very ridiculous and sad state of affair.
Definitely, man. But talking about the album RetroGore, it'll be out next month. And you already gave a glimpse of it through Termination Redux, which came out in January. Now, it has already created havoc. EP has been such a great, initial pump up for the album. Now, how are you guys excited about this full-fledged RetroGore, which will be unleashed next month?
Well, we're very excited for it. I think we're very proud of it because it turned out to be one of the most, diverse
Hmm.
albums that we've ever done. We're very proud of it. We worked very hard, and we basically locked ourselves up from October till December to, finish everything. So it's been a very long process.
Hmm.
Plus, we had been touring in between.
Right.
So for us, it was a very long, hard road, and not until like after the tour where we actually had time to digest and actually enjoy the album ourselves, because we hadn't had time off from October till the end of February.
All right. Yeah, you were on tour with Cataclysm, then you played a one-off gig with I think Bloodbath, and then
Yep.
so it was like insane ride for you from last couple of months.
Yeah. It's been very busy, but everything's been worth it. The tour was fantastic. The show of Bloodbath was fantastic as well. We had a good time. Bloodbath's for everybody in the band one of our favorite bands, so it was really cool to be able, to share the stage with them because they don't
Right.
really play that much.
Absolutely, man. Now,
So
you guys have already unleashed the title track, which is out for a week now. So how's the fan response to that?
so far, really, really good.
Hmm.
You always have your one or two trolls that are gonna be saying it's the same thing as always, which
Yeah.
I don't agree. But everybody has his opinion, and that's fine. But generally speaking, I mean, honestly, I'd say like 99% of the feedback has been really good. So we really can't complain. We're very happy with it, and it just seems like the fans are really digging it as well.
Excellent, man. Because I've been listening to it for a long, at least from last 2 to 3 weeks, and you guys have not only maintained your signature sound, but there's something about it which is difficult to explain because there are bands out there. It's like a trap where even the biggest and the best bands are susceptible to recycling any old material. But whereas in
Mhm.
case of RetroGore or any of your previous albums, it's something which has not happened. You guys have maintained your sound, still working on exploring, the different horizons of death metal. So how difficult does it get for you to not only be, sound unique, but also maintain the sound because it changed over the period of time?
Well, I mean, it when we did the Necrot Manifesto, for example, we the album did really good for us, and we were very happy with it. But then we were like, well, what's the next step? What can we do?
Right.
We were basically just like, well, we can't really do the same thing again. So we were brainstorming what's the different things we can do, and some of us said we can make it faster, we can make it more extreme, we can add some more groovy parts to it, and we could try to make it more catchy,
Right.
or we can add, I wouldn't say black metal, but like a dark melodies and atmospheres, and maybe even like some black metal shit in there, or make it more old school. So all these ideas were floating around, and I think in the end, what naturally came is that we kind of did all of those things instead of just like one or two.
Cool, man. That's wonderful because listening to the Necrotic Manifesto, it RetroGore feels like a seamless evolution of your, the guy's musical prowess without compromising your sound, like I said. So when you moved on after Necrotic Manifesto, which is considered as one of the best aborted albums, did it get difficult to kind of make sure that the new one doesn't kind of, disappoint the fans because Necrotic was such a great, great album?
Yeah, trust me, we know. We were when we were writing, there were many moments where we were like, "Fuck, this isn't good enough," or
Hmm.
is it good enough, or how are we? We have to surpass the last album, and
Right.
there was even some points where we're all like, "Well, maybe we should just not do the album." But it's when you're that focused and that busy with writing,
Right.
at some point you kind of lose the big picture.
True.
So it took us a while, to when we finished writing to put things down. And then, when like 70-80% was written, we just went like, okay, well, this is what we have. What's missing?
Right.
And when you start like piecing together, okay, well, we kind of don't really have this kind of thing in there because
Hmm.
we really wanted to do a varied album.
Hmm.
We want to just like blast from start to finish. It had to be extreme. It had to be aborted, but it also had to not be one dimensional.
Right.
So I think the pressure of doing better than the Necrotic Manifesto is what forced us to reevaluate everything we were writing constantly.
Awesome, man. Did it kind of, did it change over the period of time? Like you said, there was a time where you guys felt, no, let's not do the album. So was it like, you wrote certain parts, then you had to kind of chuck that and write new stuff just to make sure that it fits your vision for this album?
We've always done that. I mean, with Necrotic Manifesto, I think we had like 30 something demos,
Oh,
and
crap.
we ended up with half of them being used.
Hmm.
The same for this one. I think the main difference here is we had less demos than for Necrotic Manifesto,
Okay.
but we spent way more time working on the demos and fixing them and like working on the tracks until we were happy with them. Whereas to Necrotic Manifesto, we were just like writing as many things as we could, and then we
Right.
just picked what we liked best.
Okay, that sounds really great. Now, taking an example like Wormageddon, which has that sort of bouncing back and forth from, even the fast tremolo picking to the even slower, groovy ones. I mean, I love the dynamics which, Bidge as well as Ian has brought. Not only just, the complexity, but also the more dimensional sound rather than the flat one. So great to see how these two guys are, coming up with stuff which is not only mind blowing, but also kind of makes a person think that how the entire song is written and arranged.
hmm Yeah, I mean, honestly, all five of us are writing,
Hmm.
so but it was definitely good to have someone that brought another different vision to the band. For example, Mendel likes the really techie modern stuff.
Hmm.
Ken plays guitar as well, our drummer. So,
Right.
but he likes more. I think he writes the more like he wrote the Extirpation Agenda, for example, on the
Cool.
last album. He also wrote a large part of the title track of RetroGore.
Hmm.
So he's writing more that brutal modern kind of stuff. And then Ian's the guy that kind of brings this. Ian and JB even. Ian and JB are the guys that like more the old school
Mm.
kind of stuff and the doomy black metal stuff.
Okay.
So it's really a mixture of everybody's influences together that create the sound.
Awesome, man. In fact, the very first intro riff on Termination Redux is my favorite. It hits hard. I mean, I was, even going through some of the YouTube comments, and I mean, so many guys have the same feeling as well that that riff right there in the beginning is something where, it kind of gives that chills to hear how, great the riff is. Was it challenge for you guys to write riffs and, not just, fix them together, but let them ease out and have their own charm in it. Because one riff in a song may not make sense, but there are so many riffs out there which are very well fused together, which feels like you guys have spent a lot of time doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, I'd say like JB is very focused with songwriting, and Mendel's someone that writes a lot of music. So Mendel will be he's been working on those songs like Cadaver's Banquet and Termination Redux.
Hmm.
He's been working on those for a long time, and the guy plays piano. He's done a lot of stuff with music, so I think he knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Whereas Ken, for example, and Ian are the guys that will, when they're put together in a room, they're gonna, work off each other and be more spontaneous about it.
Right. Ex-
Mendel's the guy that's gonna be working on himself and try to work things out that way. So it's all different approaches from everybody,
Mhm.
and how it all comes together that it actually takes form. And we're all very, very critical.